Order at 7:30, we'll do the pledge to the flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jody, no recorder, is that okay?
Can I have a motion to approve the village board meeting minutes from January 5th, 2023?
Moved.
Second.
Any additions, corrections? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Citizen comments. There are no citizens present this evening. So we'll move on to trustees' comments, and we'll start with you, Nate.
Okay, I just, talking with the chief, we need to make an amendment on the new business, item A. Motion to approve St. Mary's request. Let's change it to motion to approve St. Mary's of the Assumption Church's request to sell beer and wine, just, for paperwork purposes. Thank you. And outside of that, I got nothing right now. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Ruth?
Just the agenda, thanks.
I'm going to stick to the agenda.
Just the agenda for me.
Yeah, that'll work. The agenda.
Okay, I got a few things. Jody, if you can please add under new business to approve the village to apply for the 2023 county facade grant program. Thank you. And me and the chief had the privilege of attending the Baldwinsville Volunteer Fire Department 80th anniversary celebration this past weekend. Very moving ceremony. Just want to give a shout out to Bernie Stolowski, who had 40 years of service that he was honored for, and Thomas Perkins, who has 60 years that he was honored for. And Tony McIntyre, who I understand has 40 years if you count his time as a youth with the fire department, so that's pretty impressive. Tony was also voted in as the chief this year, so I wish him all the luck there. I thought his speech was very nice about the about respect between all the departments, all the mutual aid that comes together. It's kind of inspirational actually to see all those various fire departments from not just Baldwinsville, but from around the other communities. They all come together to work towards a common goal, so it was very nice to be a part of that. And I will just stick to the agenda.
Thank you. Mayor's comments.
Yeah, I've got a couple. Thanks, Eric, for attending to represent the board. It was nice that you could be there. Maybe talking names, Tom Perkins, Tony McIntyre, Bernie Stolowski, people that have known them, for a long, long time. It's kind of what the special part of a village. I mean, you take a look at Chuck, and he's been here for 77 years. And, I think people feel comfortable with people that they know, that have been around. And they hopefully are passing down things to the younger people. And so I'm glad you could go and represent us. Just for the public's sake, just so they know, we are working on getting plans together for Big Mill Island for the summer. Megan has been leading the charge. She has put some stuff together. I was very impressed by what the committee came up with. Now is to go on and talk to the promoter and make sure we can work some things out. And I was very, very pleased with how much you were able to cover, and the presentation was excellent. So thanks, Meg.
Yep.
Don't forget the big show coming up, January 28th. Noon 2, that's when all the crazy people run in the river. And I think it's a great thing to do. I mean, I think it's great because they raise money for causes, but not a great thing for me to ever consider. So, good luck for them. And then one of the nice events of the year that night, actually from 4 to 8, is the Polar Bear Pub Crawl. Very similar to the Margarita Fest, where you go from, establishment to establishment, you buy a $10 ticket, and then you get stamped or whatever, or a card or something along the way. And then at the end, depending on what luck you drew, you might win a prize or two. So that's a real nice midwinter. We've been blessed with very mild weather, so the polar bear people won't have to be slipping and sliding on snow and ice, but who knows? And they're talking about snow Sunday and Wednesday, or Monday and Wednesday. Maybe by next weekend, we'll have 15, 20 inches of snow on the ground for them.
Just not in the road.
It's not the road, I've never
Quite tight coming, Dave.
Don't forget, if you have anybody from the village that you would like to consider for recognition for Man and Woman of the Year, presented by the Volunteer Center, you have until February 17th to make a recommendation. These are people who do things in our community generally unrecognized, quite often unseen, and we would be lost without them. So, there you go. Dining week is in session. That's where you can go to all of our restaurants and have special meals for dining week. If you go on their websites, you can see what the specials are, and that goes through February 5th. Petitions to run for judge have to be in, I believe, by Valentine's Day, if I'm not mistaken,
February 14th by 5 o'clock.
by 5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The school has requested.
Sorry, can I just ask a question on that? Is the office only open till 4?
I have to stay till 5 o'clock.
Okay, thank you. I'm like, wait a minute.
I got a note from Christy Knoll that the acting, he's not the acting superintendent now, they got somebody else, but Joe DeBarbery would like to make a presentation in front of the board with details of the budget and their capital improvement plans, one of which would be to take the Oswego Street driveway that when Bruce and I were in school, people use that on a regular basis. Now it's kind of blocked off most of the time. They would like to run a 2-lane road all the way down to the district office, primarily for drop-offs. There's so few kids ride the buses anymore. A lot of them are brought to school by their parents. And this would give the parents an easy in and out of the school grounds and maybe not block up East Oneida Street the way it's blocked up. There's been some questions that were brought up before. Michael Hockwood attended a meeting with me and John Tonello where we talked to the school district about that. There's some questions about how traffic might get backed up on Oswego Street, people waiting to turn in, and that's a state road, and you know, all kinds of little issues. So it would be interesting if they want to come May 4th and make a presentation. It'll be a chance for us to ask questions. I appreciate the fact that they want to address it in front of the village people. Just so you know, the carp tournament is not stagnant. They are working on it. They are working to find some property west of the village along the river to add pegs, assuming that their world championship is going to have bigger numbers than what they're used to. So they're working on that. And I don't know, Chuck, has anybody started building an ark around here? All this rain?
Not yet.
This doesn't stop. And that's all I have.
Sewers are working.
That's right. Our Warner Street Ave is working very well. That replacing that, we haven't had any problems over there, which we do every year there.
Great.
The department heads to Bob Baldwin, our attorney.
I would ask that we place another matter under pending business. That would be item B, and that would relate to the Restore New York program. I can discuss that at the time, but I'm going to ask to reopen the public hearing that we closed at the last meeting to have one matter taken care of. Other than that, I'll stick with the agenda.
Our village clerk, Jody.
I will stick to the agenda, thank you.
That brings us, well, the thing says to the code officer, but we're skipping him. We're going to our treasurer, Mark. Sorry.
Just,
Easier on the camera.
just one quick thing, the DPW vehicles that we approved, you approved, whenever it was, last meeting, for purchase, I did reach out to John, Assembly Member John Lamondes, who is our Assembly Member here now, about grants, and I'm just waiting to hear back from him, but did make contact with his office, got a response that he'll contact me. And so hopefully, I've been advised that the Buffalo blizzard has heightened the desire by the state to get better equipment in the hands of local municipalities. So hopefully we can capitalize on that. That's it.
Any comments on the budget modifications at this time, or?
I don't have any comments on them. When we get to the point in the agenda where if you want to ask about any of them, that's fine, but there's nothing outstanding there that I can think of.
Thank you. Senior Center, Ruth.
The mobile mammography van will be at the senior center on February 1st. This is rescheduled from a date in December. They still have appointments, so if you need to do that or want to do that, please give us a call and we'll get you their number and get you an appointment. Also, if you're having any difficulty with your National Grid bill, managing it, please give us a call. Nancy Sullivan, our neighborhood advisor, will help you. And also the National Grid Senior Advocate is in the building once a month and always available by phone. And the next time she will be physically in the building is February 15th. So please, if you're struggling with that this year, please give us a call and we will do everything we can to help you with that. And that's it.
Is the mammography van restricted to seniors while it's at the senior center, or?
No, you can be a woman 40 years or older, not have had a mammogram in the past year, and having no signs or symptoms of breast cancer to be eligible.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to wherever he is, Public Works, Chuck.
The weather's certainly cooperating with us with our snow removal and everything, so that's going very well. With that said, we're still able to get a lot of tree work done. We have our guys out still trimming trees back, and a lot of that work that we normally can't do this time of year. We're also, our big trees that we contracted out, the contractor's got almost all those done. There's 2 big ones that are left, and he's purchasing a bigger truck to get some of them. The truck was coming in, but so most of them are done, but hopefully within the next week or so, they'll be done. The Christmas trees, we've been through 4 or 5 times. If you got a Christmas tree, you want us to pick it up and get it out to the street, and we're gonna make another pass or 2, but after that, we'll be done, for the year. All the Christmas decorations are down except for the snowflakes. We leave the snowflakes up till after the pub crawl for the event next weekend. Other than that, the tree's down, everything's cleaned up, put away. Other than that, unless there's questions. I think I've asked this before, but for those people who keep their tree up until March, is there a place they can bring it?
No, because we don't let people down in there. If there's a lot of them in March and we can still get them, we'll get them. But it's nice if we can get them all up now. But even at the end of the year, lots of times people put them behind the house and they bring them out for brush pickup. But either way, we'll get them. But sometimes people put them out in the back of the house and then they end up a month or so out. But we'll end up picking them up one way or the other.
Okay, back up to the codes officer.
Just wanted to touch on the item. If anybody had any questions, we can discuss it later in the meeting when the item comes up on the agenda about the county facade grant. We've entered into that grant the last 2 cycles. We have been awarded, the full grant, and people have really taken good advantage of it. A lot of buildings in the village have been improved. Hopefully that's improving those businesses, viability. And it's obviously, much more attractive storefronts that have been, completed. So we've got 9 individual properties that are looking to be on this year's program. It's a total of $472,000 of county grant funding that would be coming into the village, with a private match of $157,000. So that's a total of $630,000 that's making an investment into local businesses. So beyond that, I can stick to the agenda.
Okay. Batting cleanup is our chief, Mike.
realize I was occupying that particular role in the lineup, but it's nice to know. As trustee Reinigal said, did attend the fire department installation dinner, very nice event. I've spoken a couple times with Chief McIntyre, myself, Mike Lockwood will be meeting with him and his new leadership team, deputy chiefs there at the fire department in the near future, just to ensure that our close working relationship with them continues to progress in a positive fashion. We had a good working relationship with Chief DeGregorio, and I expect that to continue with Chief McIntyre. Known him for many, many years, and look forward to that opportunity. Other than that, unless there's questions by the board, I will let you attend to your business.
I have a question, Mike.
Yes, Mayor.
There's been some online discussion in the Candlewick area about dogs being left out at night barking 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and you know everybody's getting nasty with each other. Is there a safe way for people to complain about dogs barking when we don't have a dog officer to call? What would you suggest?
Well, obviously, if they call us when that's happening, we can go there and monitor that and determine if the dog is barking, make contact with the homeowner. Maybe the homeowner's not aware that it's making noise. Maybe they're sleeping through that. Maybe they're not aware that the village has a section in our village code that deals specifically with dogs and barking. And hopefully through some public education, even this particular venue, we can maybe disseminate that out. We can also add something to both the villages and the police department's social media pages regarding dogs and dogs barking, and maybe that could be shared with those folks in Candlewick. I don't know if there's a Candlewick group on Facebook. I'm not the Facebook guru, but certainly we could prepare something or get something out, or through Greg's office, who has the code. I'm sure we could get something out just to educate people as to what the actual code is, and then, you know, hopefully through that we can maybe stem some of that issue. And if our police officers need to do some public education in person at 3 in the morning, well, we could do that too if necessary.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
Sure thing, yeah.
Anything else for the chief? Okay. Moving on to pending business. We need to approve a resolution that was done via email resolution. Can I have a motion to approve resolution 222/2023? Do I need to read the whole thing? Moved by trustee Shepherd, seconded by trustee O'Donnell, resolved to approve Kristen Marshall and Patricia McGuire to cover staffing shortages in the village court. Coverage time would be January 11th, 2023 to April 12th, 2023, for a total of 3 hours each court session at a rate of $32 an hour, for a total expense of $864. While covering Cheryl Adsit's vacation time, it would be 10 hours at a rate of $32 an hour, for a total expense of $320. So, somebody move that, second it, and whatever.
Hasn't it already been moved?
Yeah, but this is,
Yeah.
It really needs to.
All right, I'll move it again.
let's do it. Yeah, we're moving, the moving of the accepting of it, whatever.
I will do the second again, just for.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
High five.
That was beautifully done.
The mayor has the authority to purchase, to hire someone, which that resolution did, is subject to board approval, and this is the board approval and the actions of the mayor.
What he said. Okay, item B, a motion to reopen the public hearing for the Restore New York grant. And I don't know how we should word that motion, Bob, or
Well, let me
is that
explain
adequate?
that there's a publication that needed to take place with in the initial public hearing notice, the properties were listed, but the estate wants the details and also the tax map numbers that some people have done. So I would ask that we reopen the public hearing and discuss the matter, and then ask for a public hearing, to a special meeting next Thursday at 7:30 in order to finalize and get any comments on the publication that is taking place of the property list with expanded information. So just a resolution to reopen the public hearing which had been adjourned.
So we want to make that motion?
I'll make it.
Second.
All in favor? Or
Aye.
discuss, or whatever? Aye, so we're,
So when we reopen it, when does it have to be a scheduled thing?
Yeah, we just
Well,
got,
I just, then I would ask that the board adopt a resolution calling for a special meeting on Thursday, the 26th at 7:30 to review any public comments on the property assessment list which has been published.
does that, we don't have to give the public a certain amount of time notice that we've reopened? It's, or 7 days is good enough?
Yeah, we have, and we've published the list in the property assessment list is being published.
I'll make
7:30
that.
good with everybody?
Yeah.
Do we vote on the first motion, or
We already did.
rolling this all together?
I thought we already did.
We did.
We did.
Okay.
All, the rest of
I
us
said
did.
aye then.
Well, then, somebody want to make that motion to establish a special meeting next?
I'll make a motion to establish a special meeting for next Thursday at 7:30 at Village Hall.
And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Okay.
New business. We're all done there, right, Bob?
Yes.
Okay.
Just remind me.
4 of us need to be there for that to be a quorum and to open that meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we don't remind Ruth, there may be fewer. New business, item A, motion to approve St. Mary's of the Assumption's request to sell beer and wine at their annual Lenten Fish Dinners on the following dates in 2023: February 24th, March 3rd, March 10th, March 17th, March 24th, and March 31st.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Item B, motion to renew the 2023 vision proposal with our current carrier, Shelter Point Vision, at the current 2022 rates. I'll make a motion for that.
Yeah, I'll second that too. That's good news.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 20, not raising their rates, that's pretty amazing. Item C, could I have a motion to approve budget modifications to the 2022-2023 budget?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second for discussion.
Yep.
Mark, if you wouldn't just mind explaining a little bit what these are?
They're all pretty straightforward. They just are gonna keep coming from now and through the end of the year. I guess if there's any here that are, significant. The, A3120.1 police personal services is a reflection of the settlement of the police contract and the retro pay that came through on that. There was some money in that account, but not enough, and so that was raised to take care of that. There was an increase in road construction, and that was due to a budget overage, which really came as a result of transition from the former treasurer to me, and a prior practice that went on that I wasn't aware of, and frankly, we're not gonna continue doing it that way. We've come up with a better way to track it. But CHIPS money was budgeted low, and then when it came in higher than what the budget was, it just kind of was allocated to paving that way. And it was kind of a side pocket in the budget type of thing. And we still are gonna accomplish the same thing, but something more transparently in the budget. That's where the 2 lines in the budget came from this year. which are CHIPS funded paving and then village funded paving, so that we'll do it like that. And so, I don't want the board to think that the DPW was doing something under the table or anything like that. It wasn't that, it was just a different practice, and I prefer the way that we're doing it now, or that we're gonna do it.
Okay.
No, the DPW graciously agreed to give us back some funding from the refuse and garbage contractual line and the shade trees contractual line, and I said that if they ended up needing that as we got through into February, we'd restore some of it somehow, we'd figure something out there. Street lighting contractual has gone up. I couldn't believe it, but, so that one is just a function of paying to keep the street lights on that the village pays for. And then in the bottom, I guess what's significant is, school paid us for the resource officers, and I had this aha moment. I didn't realize that the two new ones that the police department added this year for the school were not in the budget at all, which probably was contributing to some of why the police salary budget line was having its challenges, and all of a sudden I'm like, we got paid for two new people.
No, yeah, I think it was an unexpected expense that,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
who could see that?
So that was kind of a sigh of relief on my part when that all came in. And then building permits are just down, and miscellaneous not otherwise classified revenue, that's kind of me on some of that. I grew up budget-wise, not wanting anything going to other income or other expense, because it just is like, you guys sit up there and go, what is that? And that line has been big, other revenue, and I'm like, so what's in there? And we were able this year to direct that where it's supposed to go in a lot of cases, or modify the budget to reflect that it's supposed to be shown. And so the big item that's in there, most of that 90 grand is that pilot that's not a pilot that we have with McCary Town. That's like 85,000 of it. And you know, the state thinks it's a pilot, we don't think it's a pilot. And so it goes in other income, and that's where it's gonna stay until somebody tells us we can't do it like that, as far as I'm concerned. So, that's kind of it. We got a little windfall on mortgage tax, and we got a little windfall on chips this year, so, we're doing all right.
Thank you, Mark.
Should we be concerned at all about the budget that we've adopted, still including franchise fees and things like that that are short this year?
Mortgage tax I dropped. Franchise fees, is that still out there?
I don't know, I don't have our proposed, in streetlights, I know we kept it around 60.
I think I lowered franchise fees this year, revenue-wise, pretty sure that I did.
And it sounds like the streetlights will probably hit us in next year's budget, because I'm pretty sure we kept that in the low 60s.
Okay, that could be too,
But-
although, and I don't know if what DPW is doing on LED lighting around the community is streetlights or parking lots, I can't remember, but, and if that makes that much of a difference, but,
I guess we'll cross that bridge
to
when we
say
get
after
to it.
being here for a year, that I'm still learning a lot of stuff about the logistics of where things go.
I had it off, I swear I did.
But I'm still learning what fits what, and, you know, what to expect and plan for and all that stuff, so.
Okay.
I know Greg's hopefully offsetting us with that solar farm too. That might help That's new, and that might help a little bit.
Lower our energy costs somewhat,
Yeah.
so.
Fingers crossed it offsets somewhere there.
Okay. Did we, that was discussion.
There
Do
was
we need
discussion, we need to
vote?
vote, yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Move on to item D, motion to approve the revised tax rate of $6.53 per thousand assessed value for a total levy of $2,947,555. Both amounts represent reductions from previous values.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Can I just ask, did you guys understand my email, what I did there?
Yes.
I calculated the tax cap and wanted to maximize our revenue. Well, that comes out at a rate that's like a half cent. 6.53.
Here's a question that I don't expect you to have an answer for, Mark. I noticed in today's Messenger, they reported what the two towns were doing regarding assessor's office and how they're going back to the old system of not 100%, which I didn't know was an option, and they're going to have equalization rates. How's that going to affect the village? Are we going to, we utilize their equalization rates and stuff?
I would expect, and what it will probably end up doing, if I remember right, is it'll create different tax rates between the two towns.
Well, like I said, if that happens,
Unless
then
they're using the
this
same
third,
assessor.
well, they're using the same assessing office and sharing it under some, like, CAP program. And if the two towns end up with different equalization rates, the MOU's gone. They can't operate that way anymore, automatically.
Frankly, I don't agree with the approach that they're taking. I think the state's plan to keep assessments in line with the market is well intended and should work in theory as long as the municipalities are lowering the rate comparably and just focusing on the levy that they need to run the municipality. And I will argue it all day long with people, when we had the 14.25% assessment increase across the board, all boats rise. Your taxes don't change as long as the municipality lowers the rate. So you still are the same percentage of the base, and that's how they divide the levy up. So I think it's kind of a populist move to appease people, but either way, we'll do the math and we'll work it out.
Right. Okay, moving on to item E. Motion to authorize the village clerk, Jody DePaulis, to have a Village of Baldwinsville credit card, replacing the card of Maureen Butler, authorizing her to make purchases with that credit card within the New York State and Village of Baldwinsville policies and guidelines.
Moved.
Second.
Any discussion? She will guard it with her life. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Which one of you
The
gets to
official
audit?
transfer of power. It's the beginning of the official transfer of power.
And you audit.
I do audit
audit her,
the
correct?
clerk's office.
Okay, item F.
Speaking of which.
This is, Eric, do you want to make your motion?
Approve the village to apply for the 2023 County Facade Grant Program.
I'll second that. Any discussion? Anybody have questions for Greg? Greg, do you want to say anything more than you
I would
did?
say that it's a very successful program, and the county has invested, well, over $1 million. I mean, with this, it'd be, over $1 million in the village in just these 3 sessions of facade grants. I mean, it's a pretty impressive what the property owners have been able to do, so.
Other than this meeting, how do we advertise that to businesses?
Well, we have advertised.
We have already?
Yeah, so we've already got our applications in, it's just a matter of approving that application to the county.
So is the application period closed?
As of tomorrow, yes.
Okay. By the time this goes on the air?
Will not,
No.
yes.
Okay,
Yes,
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Is there any other business?
No.
Could I have a motion to pay bills as audited?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Motion to adjourn this meeting at, what?
8:07.
8:06.
I'll
Move.
motion. Second.
Aye.
All in favor.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye. Go Bills.